So we're back looking at this data. We've managed to draw a scatter graph. Now we're going to try and draw something called a regression line. Regression line is a little bit like a line of best fit. We've mentioned in class how we sometimes disagree with where the line of best fit should go. A regression line is a calculated line of best fit. It has a specific place. There is only one regression line for this set of data, while we might come up with lots of slightly different lines of best fit. So it's a bit like a line of best fit, but it's a calculated one, so we could argue it's a little bit more reliable. So we're going to look at getting our calculator to calculate this line of best fit and to draw it onto our scatter graph. What we need to do is go back to our the statistic menu. So we click the stats button. Rather than editing our list, because we're happy with the list, we're going to go across and calculate something now. We're going to calculate the linear regression, because this is called a regression line. So it's finding the regression, the straight line regression for our set of data. So it's option number 4. Our X list is list 1, our Y list is list 2. We don't have any frequencies. So this is all okay. We don't want frequencies. This bit we do want, store the regression equation. It would be really good if we could store it into our calculator somewhere so that we can see it later and so that it can draw it. The quickest way to get here is to click alpha and then trace. That's a slightly difficult option to remember, but it brings up all of the different y equations that we could type it into. I'm going to put it into y1, so I'm going to press enter. There are other ways of getting there, but that is the quickest way. So just again, it was alpha, trace, and it brings up this little sub-menu, and we want y1, so we press enter. Okay, so now I'm going to calculate. And it does this for me. It makes an equation, y equals ax plus b. That's really similar to our work on linear functions. We had y equals mx plus b. So the calculator is just using the letter a instead of m. It tells us what the values are. So a 0.0739 and b is 1.33. We don't need to remember all of that because it's stored in our calculator. It was stored in the y1. So if I go across to y equals now, which is at the top left, that will be stored here, that equations. This says y equals, that was the a value. It stores the whole value in, so they're quite long decimals, but there's the x and there's the b value. If I go back to my graph, either by pressing zoom 9 or by pressing graph, I will see my scatter plot with my regression line on it.
Wow.
Okay?
Not on it.
So hopefully that has worked for you. We're going to do a bit of troubleshooting now.